You ready?
For what?
The video. Ready? Hello and welcome to JAReviews.
JAReviews.
Yeah, because the R is in jar.
JAReviews. JAReviews.
Hello and welcome to JAReviews.
Today we're reviewing Deadpool 2.
Today we're talking about Mission Impossible. What was it called again? Rogue.
No. Fallout.
Mission Impossible Fallout New Vegas. Where to start with this one, boy? So let's start with the story. We've got Tom Cruise. Actually, no. I just remembered. We're going to have to clear some space for me to tell you the story.
Why? And this movie is one of those movies where you just want to be like, and then he goes, and then he goes,
And then Henry Cavill goes.
Then Henry Cavill goes, for a reason nobody knows.
Because it looks cool.
It does look cool.
And it goes. So Mission Impossible, if you didn't know, what is this, the sixth one? I guess
It is.
It's an action movie with Tom Cruise in it, and Superman, Henry Cavill, and Simon Pegg.
And the black one.
It's a and the guy from Prometheus with the pups.
The other guy with the pups. British bad guy.
So the pups guy is the bad guy, right? That's the central driving force of the film. He sent out pups all around the world. If you don't know what we're talking about, go watch Prometheus.
Or don't, because it's fucking donkey far.
Right, seriously, we got to talk about the plot of this movie now. Like, properly. So this will be spoilers, so we're going to talk about spoilers probably.
Should we say whether we liked it or first?
Yeah, we should
'Cause
say...
I don't think people can really gather from what we were just saying. So before we spoil it, go see this movie, because fuck boy, it's the best thing since Mad Max.
Do you actually think that?
Yeah.
Best action film since Mad Max?
In Mad Max, I was going like along with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, I was just like, you know, stunned by what I was witnessing.
Yeah, it's the best action film I've seen in years.
It's fucking
I definitely
immense.
recommend it.
And the story's fun as well, so...
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's our non-spoiler review. Now, Jamie, can you tell me the plot of this film?
Alex, can you tell me the plot of Rogue Nation?
He clings onto a plane. I remember that because you told me that happens in it.
I also told you that he gets shot at by instruments from like
That's pretty funny.
orchestra.
So, okay,
And jumps in a hole.
let's try and explain the plot of this film. So, Tom Cruise.
Why
Just
is
trying
this
to
so
remember.
difficult? So there's a group of baddies that are terrorizing the world, and
No, this is it. The film opens on Tom Cruise having a dream,
well, we don't need to.
And he's
tell
getting
them,
married.
like-
and then he's like, obviously a dream because he's getting married in like by a mountain.
Yeah, and the bad guy is the Reverend.
Yeah, the bad guy is like, you should have killed me, Mr. Bond. And then a fucking nuke goes off and he's like, no, daughter. And just turns into dust.
He does literally
Pretty scary,
turn his
sort of Terminator style. Then I guess wake up real life. And then the real plot begins.
There's 3 MacGuffins,
What do you mean it's 3 MacGuffins?
and all 3 of them are nukes.
Oh, I see.
And he's got to stop the baddies from
Is he-
blowing the nukes up.
I suppose it is a MacGuffin. It's a pretty good MacGuffin because it's like nukes
Yeah, you
exist.
can understand why that's a threat.
Okay, so basically the villain, the super villain, kind of almost has this kind of cult. What does he call them? He's got a bunch of like super soldiers working for him.
Super soldiers.
Sorry, not super X.
Basically a bunch of Tom Cruises
Yeah.
running around
Yeah.
doing bad things.
So the military God, I can't remember, Jim.
They basically want to like wipe the slate clean, don't they? They want to start. They want to get rid
one of those
the world
anarchist
order. Yeah.
kind of ideals, where the main villain used to be one of the Tom Cruise kind of agents or something.
Yeah, for Britain.
Yeah, but for the Brits, and but he's managed to get all these other
What is wrong
I want to
with
call them
you?
super soldiers because it's making me think of Civil War, where there were a bunch of super soldiers in it.
There's no parallels between these two movies.
So basically, it's up to Tom Cruise to stop him because the bad guys' plan is they want to nuke. They have 3 nukes and want to set them off in 3 places in the world.
Yeah.
We made it as convoluted and difficult to describe as possible.
Thinking about it now, the plot is actually quite simple. But they just have a lot of threads going on at once during
It's
the movie.
simple, but told in a confusing way.
Yeah. But I don't think that like inherently it's not confusing.
No.
But problem number 1, it relies on remembering the previous movie,
Which was Rogue Nation, right?
which was Rogue Nation, which I don't remember at all.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the major parts. Because, like, there's the female spy.
Yeah, I had no idea
Who was,
who
I
she
guess,
was.
established in Rogue Nation. I vaguely remembered her, but I was like, what was her deal again?
Mhm.
I can't remember. And then the villain, of course, was set up in the previous movie. Another thing I didn't remember. I didn't realise it was going to build so heavily off
No, I didn't realise that either.
the next one, almost Marvel style.
I think that might be why they did it as well.
Building up this thing.
Yeah, the way Marvel does it.
Yeah.
To
Well,
make
spoilers, the villain doesn't actually... Well, he gets defeated, but he doesn't get killed in a traditional sense, so he's still alive in this universe, so I don't know if they're going to use him again or move on. Or
Yeah.
what. You said you were hoping Henry Cavill, who is kind of the secondary villain...
It is spoilers now, by the way. Just
yeah,
to
we already
confirm.
said spoilers, but...
Yeah.
And that's problem number 2. The
Adverts.
trailers for the film ruined, like, really great moments from
They
it,
spoiled a lot of the set pieces. Like
which is the biggest crime,
yeah,
probably.
which is super annoying.
Because it's... Yeah.
When, for example, motorbike chase scene, you've seen in the trailer that he hits into a car, flies off the motorbike, so you know exactly what happens.
I was going
at
to
the end
end,
of it.
yeah. It's the same thing that happened with the Avengers, where you're just waiting for the Hulk to catch Iron Man on the building.
Yeah.
So like, there's no
yeah.
tension in that scene because you know how it's going to end.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of tension, though, it's like the most tense action thriller I've seen in so long. Like normally we've made it our thing to watch these terrible Dwayne Johnson action movies.
Yeah.
We're talking Rampage, we're talking Skyscraper. And they're just so weightless, so tepid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
don't feel anything.
Yeah, and everyone's talking about the stunts and the action.
Mhm.
It is the highlight of the film. It's the thing everyone's going to be putting at the top.
Yeah.
And it is genuinely impressive. It's so refreshing in this landscape of... I was looking at, like, best action films of the last few years.
Yeah.
It's pretty empty. If you... Like, all the way back to Fury Road, which was 2015. In between that, I guess the only thing of note is John Wick 2. And even then, that's a different kind of action. It's more... that's more just quick, sort of gunfire, bit of like martial arts stuff. It's not on the scale of something like this.
No.
Which is what makes it so impressive. Like it.
Like with the motorbike chase scene we were just saying about. That was the first time in the movie I was just looking at it with my mouth open. I couldn't understand how they could plan this so impressively.
It puts like action in other movies like this to complete shame.
Absolutely.
It's so clear. I don't remember even once thinking, I can't really tell what's going on.
No.
This is too shaky or it's cutting too quickly.
Like they're driving this little car through Paris and a motorbike's chasing them through all these really thin streets.
Yeah.
And you can see perfectly what is going on.
Yeah.
And
there's
what
that
you're meant to be
awesome bit
saying.
where he like drifts around the stairs and like perfectly jumps down. It's so impressive. And it's normally the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, you expect action to be good in big Hollywood movies, but it seriously is next level. Like the amount of CG is so difficult to even notice.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally if you see I don't know, something like Skyscraper, so yeah, CG or whatever. There's no presence here. There's no weight to any of it. And like, there's a scene towards the end, the whole helicopter set piece, that has such weight to it. Even when he's climbing up like the mountain, or there's a part where he slides down a rope because he just misses climbing, and it's so tense.
Yeah.
Even though you know probably what's going to happen, but it's tense anyway because it's just filmed so well. The music builds the tension as well really well, and all the actors are really good in it. There really is like no major negatives I particularly have about it besides the trailer thing, and I do think thing. I don't know if this is just a first viewing thing. There were points where I was like, I'm a bit lost in terms of what's going on.
Yeah, I thought the intro, when the movie first started, I was thinking, ooh, like, am I gonna like this? Because
which intro? The one where he's like dreaming.
After he has the dream, he wakes up and opens a book.
Oh, the huge, and
it's just like a massive exposition dump.
Yeah,
and it's like, whoa, did fucking Kojima write this? No,
it's like necessary though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he opens Homer's Odyssey, you know, and then
starts reading the Simpsons comic.
There was a nice amount of exposition, I thought. That was the clumsiest bit, but it was like necessary as well. I thought, because you had to have some kind of setup for it. And it was just like, look guys, we got to give you some context for this.
And
now,
then once that's over, it's just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's just super
unrelenting.
Super
awesomeness.
Favorite set piece?
I really like the fight scene in the bathroom.
Surprisingly good. It even reminded me of The Raid a little bit, that one.
Yeah.
Like close quarters. But again, you can still see all the action really
It's
clearly.
like it looks like they're super spies, like going for each other, but it is shambly enough to still be believable. It's not like,
well, it was cool because they actually lost that fight.
Yeah,
which you never really see in films like this.
Yeah, they actually could. The guy was Asian, so I mean, you could have seen that coming.
There you go.
But I'd say overall, though, my favourite set piece was the motorbike.
That was extremely impressive.
And it just keeps going, but keeps you, like, gripped. And
one of the most impressive things was the way it kind of built up momentum. It never really sagged, even in scenes where action wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Because the characters are compelling enough, the actual plot is compelling enough, they get you invested really early on. So you're like, yeah, I want them to stop this.
And I think every one of the, like, good guy characters are likable.
Yeah. None of them do that annoying thing that, like, a load of action movies do, like the Nathan Drake thing, where they're kind of snarky.
Yeah. God, that was a fucking relief.
What were you scared about that?
Well, because I couldn't really remember Rogue Nation. I couldn't remember what Tom Cruise's character, Ethan Hunt, was like.
Yeah.
And if he did sort of like jump around punching dudes and then saying little quips.
He has one quip, and I thought it was funny.
Which one was that?
It was in the helicopter set piece. He had one. It was like, hang on this or something, and then he goes...
Oh, yeah.
No, I actually surprisingly really like him in it. He's a really good hero, a really good main character, because he's like... He has morals. He has a set of principles, and he sticks by them. He's almost he's like a better superhero than any of the like DC superheroes in terms of like, this is a guy who they even treat him kind of as a superhero towards the end, his wife.
They literally say in the movie, which was kind of like ridiculous, but when you look at the stuff he's done in this movie, it's like, okay.
Well, and in all the previous ones, at times he's saved the world.
It's like they just say, without him, the whole world is just fucked.
Yeah.
Without Tom Cruise running around, we're fucked.
Dude, that might be my favourite part. Where he's got to like jump across rooftops and jump out of windows and stuff to get to Henry Cavill.
I thought, the thing about the trailers, they used a different shot for when he jumps over that building.
Really?
Yeah, the one where he broke his fucking ankle.
Yeah, and when you know that he breaks his ankle doing that stunt, it's like, oh.
Because you can see his foot just slam the building. Like.
But, I mean, props to Tom Cruise, man. He's, 56? Dude, that guy can run.
Absolute trooper.
That guy could outrun probably 90% of the world.
Apart from Augie.
Yeah, it couldn't outrun Augie, but just really awesome. Do you think it's the best Mission Impossible film?
Yeah, by far. Like I haven't seen a Mission Impossible and just felt this pumped after. Like I would be happy going and seeing it again today, and tomorrow, and the next day.
Right before it started, I looked at how long it was, and I was like, "Geesh, that's super long. It's like 2.5 hours long." And then afterwards, you were like, "I felt really short."
Yeah, I thought it was like an hour and a half once it ended.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. The pacing, the momentum is so brisk, so it doesn't hang around at any point, and not in a like we have to quickly we have to rush to the next action sequence. Everything is earned.
I think something it gets really right as well in terms of action is that it doesn't redo anything that it's like already done in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like a problem with John Wick 2 is that every scene is him
super repetitive,
shooting people and punching dudes.
Mm-hmm.
In this, there's a skydiving set piece.
Yeah,
like
they're all very different.
Punchy.
So yeah, you almost can't even compare the skydiving one to the car chase one, because the type of action is so
completely different.
Falling downwards compared to weaving through busy street, and the same with the helicopter. Like it's just in the open air. It's like they chose the perfect set pieces to kind of increase the scale and the tension of everything, but with also kind of increasing the importance of it all. Like a lot of action movies have that problem where they blow their load too early.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, the action bit at the end was cool, but there was that certain one at the beginning that was really good, and it outshines everything else. And that never happens because everything was so well thought out.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they gonna do now? Another one?
Fuck,
how are you supposed to even follow it up? Like,
I don't know what they could do from here in terms of action.
Because it never like jumps the shark particularly.
No.
Like it's always like kind of goofy spy thriller.
It's called Mission Impossible, like.
Yeah, and they're like wearing stupid skin masks and stuff that somehow look identical to people and stuff. It is goofy and it knows it's goofy, but it takes itself seriously.
Yeah.
Which is like the perfect tone for something like this. Because it's like definitely not comedy in any way, like in the way sort of Marvel.
No, Marvel hero movies are straight up comedies now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's nice to have a sort of hero type movie.
It's like such a traditional campy like action movie. When you think of like good Hollywood, good action movies, it even made me think of Indiana Jones in a way. You know, not necessarily what that film's about, but what it represents. You know, just these like Spielbergian action sequences that are kind of like stretched out. You know, the tension is stretched out as long as possible, you know, and they like drop the thing and they got to get to it and all that kind of stuff.
That one at the end with the helicopters.
It works, man. What do you think about Henry Cavill then as the puncher? That guy is fucking huge, man.
He's way too big. He's not meant to wear normal clothes.
Well, that's what I was thinking the whole
like
time when he's in his like shirt. It must be like,
where does he get them made?
Yes, so the costume department must have to custom make shirts for him because he's so huge, and they're like perfect to his body. So they must be custom made for him.
But from what I could tell, like with the fighting scene, it looked like he was in it doing it, and he did a really good job with that. Yeah, and I found his character like fun, perfectly dislikable. Like from the get go, you're like, this guy's a bit of a fucking scum fuck. Yeah. And then by the end, you just...
At first, I was a bit like, man, this is like really just Henry Cavill. It's like what he always does. Yeah. Because he's not given much to work with until like the second half, when more things come out about him. And like by the end, he's just like, leave me alone, Tom Cruise. He's fucking furious. You just can't outrun him. Dude, just thinking about that helicopter scene where it's like, you really... Even though you know he's probably going to succeed at the end, you're like, how the fuck is he going to achieve this? How is he going to do it? Yeah. And the way he does it is like so fun to watch.
Yeah. I just want to go and see it again right now.
That's a sign of a good movie.
That's what you want from an action movie.
Yeah, you don't want to be discussing it and then be like, well, that part was actually... don't really want to watch that bit again. But yeah, be curious to see if it's better or worse second time round. First impressions though, best action film just in years. Like if all Hollywood action films were like of this quality, it would be
shit, we'd be spoiled.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd speak this highly of a Mission Impossible movie as well.
Like when on the drive there, I was like, I'm actually kind of excited for a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Like I've liked the ones before, but
I liked Rogue Nation and I liked Ghost Protocol.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've liked elements of all of them after 2.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I'd always watch them and be like, yeah, that was really enjoyable, but then forget everything about them. Nothing quite blew me away. Really good action film.
I think this is the first Mission Impossible movie I've seen at the cinema though.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's the thing. I've never been that into the whole thing.
But I mean, if they do another one, how long was it? How long?
2016, I think. So 2 years.
Okay. Well, if they do another one, which I assume they will, because this movie seems to be doing quite well.
Yeah.
In public opinion and everything, I'll be sat in the theater. First chance I get. They've won me over hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to even really say? I'm sure it's the kind of plot that you could pick apart if you really wanted, but at the same time, it's almost not even about that, really. It's more of just a backdrop, motivation.
I think it does an excellent job of... Because, I mean, you wouldn't have the tension in those action scenes without...
Mm-hmm.
Like,
without investment.
Investing you.
It's like just enough.
Yeah.
It's just enough without being too complex or lacking too much. It's like some bullshit like Skyscraper. Are we done?
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, what did you give it on Letterboxd? We can end it with that.
I gave it I don't know. I gave it a 4, I think.
I gave it a 4.
I might have to bump it up to a 4.5. Because, I mean, thinking about it, I've been thinking about it constantly because we saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, my problems with it just sort of become, like, it's barely even a problem.
Yeah. It's just got so many good bits.
I bumped it up, 4.5 star. 9 out of 10. It gave me everything I wanted and more.
That's true, that's a good point. Because I wasn't even expecting really anything. I wasn't after anything in particular apart from like good action, but then it also gave me everything else.
I didn't expect to like all the characters so much. Like, especially
they've got good chemistry, a lot of them.
Yeah, they do.
Really like Simon Pegg and the guy from Pulp Fiction.
Is that what he's from?
I think so. Unless I'm being very racist right now.
That's not racist. I mix Simon Pegg up with Nick Frost all the time.
Simon Pegg's good as well.
You just said that.
Simon Pegg's good as well. Yeah, we're done here, boys and girl.
Simon Pegg's good as well.
Simon Pegg's good as well. We'll end it on that one. Any last words, Jim?
The guy from Snakes on a Plane is good as well.
So yeah, subscribe.
Simon Pegg's good as well.
Oh yeah, one last thing. Tony the Tiger is a delicious cereal.
So I've just been listening to Let's Dance. It's a really good album. I'm currently on the track Without You.